And we're back from another episode of the Sports Department Podcast with Justin Valentovic, Jesse Norman, Stephen Clark, and Stephen Bologna. And we're here to break down Week 10 of the NFL season. And it wasn't a great week again, other than a few games. The trend is slowly going downward for these weeks as we started off really, really hot. And now we're kind of cooling down just a little bit before we, go to the last third of the season. But, guys, what's going on?
How are you doing, Justin?
I'm fine.
I'm doing good. Doing good, man. Thanks for asking. Appreciate it.
I'm living life to the fullest every single minute of every single day. Enjoying it, taking a breath of fresh air, this nice cold air we have here in Jersey. I don't know how it is out there in Michigan, probably pretty cold as well.
Cold today.
The South, yeah, it's weird.
We've gotten a couple flurries.
Southwest.
We got some snow out there. Nice.
We've gotten some flurries. Nothing's really hit though, but just flurries.
Let's podcast and let's talk some
Exactly.
ball foot.
So before we get into the games, we got to go through our weekly picks again.
Oh no!
We didn't do a picks pod just because
I don't care.
Because schedule's a little tight, so we're only doing 1 or 2 pods a week now, but that's fine because our picks this week were shit yet again. So coming in last place for the week, missing his lock last week, Jesse was the first one to put 0 on the board. Now Jesse has the honor of putting the first -1 on the board for the week. -1, missing his lock.
So many points up on Justin
of the Bucks. And in third place is myself. My lock was the Cards. I missed, so I
came
only
in
put
second.
No, I came in third. Yeah, I put 1 point this week onto my total. Clark came in second place with 2 for the week, missing his lock as well. And Bologna was the only one to hit his lock of the Colts, so he puts 11 on the board for the week. So the season total is now me in last with 81, Clark with 93, Jesse with 103 with the negative point.
How am I still in second?
I missed 3 locks in a row.
Yeah.
And I'm still not in, I missed 3 locks in a row, and I'm still not in last place.
And then Bologna is in first with 115. So
Nice.
Wait, how many?
115. So you're 12 behind him.
Ground me.
Oh my god!
If you have a rough week and Jesse actually, puts things together, or
Thanks.
Put
even,
that perfect
even
week
if
up.
Clark puts things together, he can.
I'm
really
not
make a
out.
serious
I'm not
push.
out.
No,
We're missing 3 locks. I'm not
fucked,
out.
So what does it matter?
Justin's not out yet. He's got a chance.
Yeah.
You guys
I
need to
just put a
single-handedly
gold
die,
leaf
basically,
rookie
for
Pat
picks.
Mahomes.
Ooh.
Yeah. So in a week with some ugly blowouts, a tie, and a few upsets here or there, let's kick things off with Steve, your team.
Not surprised.
Hey, this is actually a
Always.
good thing to talk about for once. I'm not just doing it just to, bust balls on the
It
Washington
was
football
such a
team.
good thing.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
Good.
such a good thing.
Loved
The
it.
football team shockingly
I
upset
don't know what
the
team that is,
Bucs
Steve. I don't know what team that is.
29-19, but a soul for a soul. The Washington football team had to trade Chase Young's ACL for
Yeah.
a win, so he is out for the season. But they got a win, so what does it matter?
Yeah, listen, I mean,
What
it
does
sucks.
it matter?
It's sad to see Chase Young go down, but season's a lost cause anyway. So, I hate to say this, but I'd rather it happen now than a meaningless week 16 or 17 game and he misses start of next year. But it's just so annoying that Taylor Heineke just plays good. And then it's like, oh, well, does he actually have a chance to be the franchise guy? No. He's definitely not the best. Washington, in reality, should have let this game. They almost let it slip away. But an incredible 19-play, 10.5-minute drive.
Crazy.
Ice the game. Antonio Gibson still playing great. Terry McLaurin is still a baller. Heineke looked solid.
Heineke earned a job in the NFL for another 3 years with this game. So,
well, he's
Good on
under
him.
contract for
12.
next year.
yeah, he earned
so
a
we
career
have him for
backup
next year.
role, essentially. So, good for him.
I think
he's
Mike White
terrible.
already earned a career backup role. So I think
Not
Heineke's
this
like good for. I think Heineke's like good for a lifetime. Honestly,
Depending on who they bring in, Heineke will probably be the best backup in the league next year as a fallback plan. So, yeah.
we have
be,
to see who's. We have to see who's
Who's a backup? Because Sam
Who's
Darnold
a
could be a
backup
backup
next
very
year?
well.
Teddy might be a backup.
Oof. But
So,
no, good
it's a
win
good
for the
win.
football team. Ugly loss for the Bucks. Tom Brady looked human again.
Yeah.
It's like,
Dunk. Yeah.
It's just a good chance now. Washington, they have 3 backup DNs that they've taken with some late round picks. So it's a good chance for them to kind of see some of them play with Montez Sweat out also for another few weeks. So we'll see what happens. But the defense played solid yesterday. Got a few pieces back. So I'm happy. That's all.
Yeah, no, I really like Antonio Gibson. He's bouncing back after, what he missed, like 2 or 3 games, I think, with the shin injury.
He still has a shin fracture.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He still
has one.
Steve, like you said, he's a really good running back. We were talking about it yesterday or whatever it was on Xbox. He's knocking on the door. If he continues the rest of the season with his productivity, he'll be in the conversation for a top 10 running back in the league, which is very good.
Yeah,
and he was a steal of a draft pick in the 3rd round, as I was informed.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Informed.
Any last thoughts on the football team and the Buckaroos?
Bucks are fine. I just want to say, it's just they're a little banged up still. They've been playing banged up all year. They still win the division. Down game for them though. Good game by Washington to take advantage of all the injuries and stuff in the secondary. And it sucks for Chase Young, but no, good win from Washington.
Cool. So let's talk about Thursday night football, which started off to be a very just ugly, bland, boring, kind of borderline unwatchable game where Jacoby Brissett went in and was the starter for the Dolphins and then got hurt. And then in came Tua, who was healthy enough to at least be the backup, but not the starter. So that's interesting. And they beat the Ravens 22-10. And this is just an ugly loss for the Ravens.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is.
I don't got much about this. Lamar didn't look too hot. The whole team just didn't look too hot. Tua has proven that he could if he stays healthy and so he can somewhat sling it around and run it here and there. And it's an upset. It's a big upset. Ravens were one of the more solid teams in the AFC, and they go down. And Buffalo went down the week before. And who's the real solid team in the AFC now?
Nobody really.
It's like a 10-sided coin toss to see who's the
AFC kind of looks like our fantasy football team, our league, where it's literally just not even one team with a really good record. Like that's kind of the Titans now. And then everyone else just has basically the same record of each other. Like we have a bunch of 5 and 4s in our record in our league. And there's just a lot of teams with the same record. So it's like, what is going on? And how are we going to figure this one out?
I wish I was 5 and 4.
Yeah.
Leo.
Yeah, this I'm not gonna look into this game too much. I'm not gonna look into it too much. It was a short week for the Ravens. They came out a little slow. These games happen. Any team can lose any given week. We seen the Bills lose to the Jaguars, and then they came out and they stomped the Jets. If this continues to be a trend with the Ravens, I will be worried. I do think this is just they fell asleep a little bit.
It was a little bit of a trap
I'm not
game,
too worried.
and they fell into it. So see how
props
they rebound.
Props to the Miami defense, though.
Yeah.
Finally came
well.
to play. And Robert Hunt, baby.
For once.
Love it.
A big man touchdown that got called back.
I love it.
So Panthers Cardinals, what could have been a good game. And boy, oh boy, oh boy. So no DeAndre Hopkins, no Kyler Murray. And then on the flip side of things, no Sam Darnold. So what do the Panthers do? They go out and sign Cam Newton, who comes in on a few gadget plays and scores 2 touchdowns. And he's back. At least he says he is. But PJ Walker also had a good game. So it is just a carousel clusterfuck for the quarterback position in Carolina because you're still paying Teddy Bridgewater. You're committed to Sam Darnold for next year. Cam Newton's going to be a starter, and PJ Walker doesn't look half bad. So they essentially are responsible for 4 quarterbacks now. But they beat the Cardinals.
Yeah.
Because Colt McCoy looked bad.
An injured Cardinals team.
Yeah,
I mean, what are you going to do?
If there's one thing Cam's going to do, it's going to be beat the Cardinals.
And
I feel like he always had their number.
He's always. I remember the NFC Championship game where they just destroyed them, rolled them.
They played them one time in the playoffs where Logan Thomas was the quarterback.
Ugh.
And just got obliterated. Exactly. He was a quarterback still then. But yeah, interesting season so far for the Panthers now.
Good for Cam. I'm happy for Cam. Yeah. It was nice to see him. I wish that was at home. Imagine the pop.
The pop it would have been. Oh, absolutely.
Oh God. But that was cool seeing with the rushing touchdown, throw one. No, they have a hard choice to make when it comes to the offseason. Who they want to stick with as the backup, whatever. Try to make trade some people out. If you're gonna extend Cam, if they want to extend Cam, I don't know, probably not. But what to do with Walker, like you said, and Darnold's under contract. It's a mess.
Such a
it's
mess.
a mess. It's a
They've
mess.
really boxed themselves into a corner.
They also really want to get in the Watson sweepstakes.
That too.
But now they've traded so many picks.
It's just.
Well, now you're even looking. Burns is out for weeks too, isn't he? With his
thank you,
ankle.
Mac Jones. Yeah.
Yeah, because Mac Jones the dirty play there. Yeah.
So I mean, this is just interesting. They traded away picks for Gilmore too.
Yeah.
And Henderson.
Darnold too. I mean,
yeah, I don't know what really Matt Rule's doing there. You were saying Bologna?
You know, it's nice and all that Cam's back, but it's just I just don't like him that he comes in and everything has to be about him. He's got to come in. He's got to be flashy for the cameras.
I mean,
that's always him. That's always Cam.
But it's also the franchise, one of the top Panthers in franchise history coming
best
back.
Panthers
the top Panther.
The best
the
Panther
top
quarterback of all
listen,
time.
I get that, but he fell off badly at the end of his career, gets cut, goes to the Patriots, gets cut by the Patriots, and then just comes back and everything has to be about him. So I don't know.
That was always Cam throughout his entire career. Like his MVP season was insufferable, to watch if you weren't a Panthers fan.
If you weren't a Cam fan,
it was
MVP year.
I loved Cam.
I loved it. Oh, I loved it. And I knew people hated it, but I loved that people hated
I hated it because of one specific Panther fan. But
I wonder
who. So when Cam didn't jump on the fumble in the Super Bowl, it felt so good to see. But let's switch gears.
One of the most
switching gears.
Yeah, this is in full gear.
He didn't have an angle at it.
Yeah. So we usually talk about blowouts later in the podcast, but let's talk about this one because of the significance of it and what it means probably for the NFL in the next 10 years, basically. And that is the Pats are coming back. Jesse said it. Jesse is right. Jesse, all hail, bow down. Jesse.
Thank you.
Pats 45, Browns 7. Browns still can't get over the hump of the Patriots. And this would have been a big signature win for Stefanski if he could have. They were in Foxborough, right?
Yep.
So if he would have been the first Browns coach since 1992, when Bill Belichick was the last Browns head coach to win in Foxborough, but they went in there and got absolutely stomped by Mac Jones and the Patriots, 45-7. Yeesh, the Patriots have thrown themselves back into not just playoff contention, but AFC East contention as well. So the sleeping giant who only needed about a year or two to retool, rebuild, lose a defense, come back, get a new quarterback, and they're on the rise again. Fuck us.
Yeah.
I hope everybody enjoyed that. I hope everybody enjoyed that little bit of time.
I did.
Because it's
I did.
It's over.
I did. That was a nice year.
I said this when they were at 2-4, and I was unwavering that they were the best 2-4 team in the NFL. They've ripped off 4 straight. They are so terrifying to play in January because they are built for January. They are built for playoff games. They have the zone defense. They have a blitz. They have a great rotation of the front 7. They can just throw bodies at you over and over. They have good man corners. They are just so built for the playoffs, and they have such a good offensive line and like 4 running backs and such an accurate quarterback and 2 good tight ends. Like
Hunter Henry's been awesome this year.
Yeah, he's been great.
He's having a career season already. And it's just
they're also so good at the trick plays, and those always come up big too.
And like the thing with it is, right, they don't have the big sexy name that you've seen in past years. You had Brady, but they don't have any household names, right? Like no Moss, no Gronk, no Welker, no Brady, no James White to an extent. On defense, you have a lot of names like Matthew Judon's been awesome for them. So it's just like, oh God, here we go again. This is the start of it.
They have a D2 safety,
yeah,
Kyle Duggar, that's been playing.
It's like, just here we go again. And it's just like, now if the Patriots win a Super Bowl eventually, it's like, oh, here's the Brady Belichick discussion all over again because they both won essentially then at that point. But it's like, oh, Belichick didn't do it. Well, Belichick had to rebuild an entire fucking team. Like Brady went to a team that was ready to go. This will never end. I'm convinced it'll never.
It's never gonna end until they die. Basically, both of them.
Until they die.
And who knows? Brady could still be playing when Belichick dies. At this rate,
honestly, you're not wrong. No, good for the Patriots. As much as I hate that organization and can't stand that whole organization and the fans of that organization, good for them. I mean, they found their guy. They took their right guy with their draft pick this year. He fits into the whole system.
Oh, he's starting
Easily
to
rookie of
pull
the year.
away.
Chase
with it.
fell off.
Yeah, it's because
But
ever
also,
since Chase started dropping balls,
with
I mean,
all the awards though, it's tend to be favorable towards the quarterback. So the fact that Matt Jones has rallied them to get this far at least, and he doesn't have to be a superstar level quarterback, but he just has to be a better quarterback than what he was playing, and they're doing this well, it says a lot. So he would probably be rookie of the year. So let's talk about Colts and Jaguars with who could have been rookie of the year in Trevor Lawrence, but that was abysmal of a game to start the first quarter. It looked like the Colts were going to run away with it with Jonathan Taylor, but eventually the Jags defense, were just blitzing the hell out of Carson Wentz. He really couldn't do much. Colts had what felt like a billion straight punts, and eventually they were able to pull ahead and win 23-17. And the Colts defense at least had enough of a rough day for Trevor Lawrence, as in the first half he only had 3 completions, which that didn't look great on the stat sheet, but the Jags, they're a little bit more competitive now. They're slightly getting better as the season's going on.
3 completions on 15 attempts. You didn't finish that. It would be one thing if it was like 3 for 7. No, he was 3 of 15.
1/5 of his passes. That's brutal.
Yeah, they're not very good. They're not gonna be good.
They play tough though. I give them
They
that.
play tough. Like, yeah, like this is how you want to lose. They have a young defense that could be interesting again. And maybe if they hit on some draft picks.
And divisional games are always tough too. So
also, Carson Wentz, he is a madman on the football field. He's throwing left-handed shovel passes. He's got to cut that out. Please, for the love of God.
That's not going to happen.
No, I know it won't. And Frank Reich basically had a quote saying that they're okay with it because they basically said when shit hits the fan and he has a bad game, they're not going to, have it all fall on him, and because they know the playmaker he can be. So they're basically giving him the go-ahead to go think he's Carson Mahomes.
He's Mahomes.
And I know that Justin and Clark are ready to christen Dio Odiengbo with the greatest Colt in history.
Dio Odengbo.
No,
I give that credit all to D-Buck on that one.
Do we have any update on Leonard's status?
Nothing yet.
Nothing
probably
yet.
tomorrow or the next
he
day
finished the game. So
did he?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
he did.
Cool.
He did.
Yeah. So he was at least, had enough adrenaline to finish it.
At most, most.
Going back to
least
Buckner, that trade is looking to be absolutely just lopsided as hell. Between the Quentin Nelson trade and the Buckner trade, Ballard pulled off 2 of the biggest lopsided trades we've seen in a while.
And it just came down to San Fran not wanting to pay him.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was.
They just didn't want to pay him. And you've seen a lot of times those go the other way, and you pay the guy,
and he
just does nothing.
Yeah, he does nothing. So I mean, San Fran had, I think, a decent idea, but Buckner has really only gotten better since being traded and getting paid.
He's the best Colts pass rusher and the best run defender for the Colts, and you don't see that a lot in a defensive tackle. You see either one way or the other. So the fact that they get both is an anchor for that D line.
Hey, with Washington, though, Jonathan Allen's the best D lineman we have. So,
yeah.
Now
with the injury. Oof.
Last takeaway. I mean, we touched on it at the beginning, but Taylor's legit. That's it. Jonathan Taylor's
Pittman
legit.
is clutch on 3rd down. So
okay, yeah.
The respect for Pittman just.
It's getting there.
He can mention on his
just
blog.
because the third downs.
He has the most receiving yards on 3rd down in the NFL.
Yeah, Mr.
Third down.
Wow, Mr. Third Down.
But yeah, no, tough
Colts
division.
Still need secondary help, and it was fun being 5-5 while it lasted because you got the Bucs and Bills coming up. So 5-7.
5-7 baby.
Don't worry, we broke the Bucs for you.
I hope so.
Well, it's still 2 weeks
just like how we broke the Titans, who still haven't lost.
Best way to get to Brady, interior pressure.
Yeah, so
you're built for it.
We are.
See what happens. But speaking of the old Titans, they held on to a close game, 23-21 against the Saints. Trevor Siemian had a great game at least, but Titans keep rolling.
I don't understand. Like, the Saints took Ian Book with a 4th round pick. Play him.
I
See
agree.
what you
have. Yep.
He's raw. He's raw.
He has to
That's the
be
way
if you're
Jesse
not
likes
playing him.
I didn't like him out of college.
Jesse likes it slow cooked.
Yeah, I thought he needed at least a year and a half.
Love a good slow cooker.
Well, not until you try it.
But Semien actually played a little bit better than anticipated against the Titans defense. Almost 300 yards, 2 touchdowns. That's
He
pretty
played
good.
well, but I also want to see what Book can do too. I'm with Steve on that.
Yeah, no, I agree.
But the Titans are getting these wins out. They're, any means necessary. They're getting these wins. Honestly, probably the most dangerous team in the AFC besides the Patriots right now.
They've been the most consistent, and that's consistency is key.
Yeah, no Julio, no Derrick Henry for at least no Julio for another 3 games.
Like Marcus Johnson was leading receiver in the entire game,
and they have a favorable schedule too. So they're looking good heading into the playoffs. They got Henry back for the playoffs. They're
potentially. Yep.
Yeah, they'll be.
No teams feel good.
No
teams feel actually good,
especially in the AFC is just such a mess.
The AFC especially.
And that's what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Someone obviously has to win the AFC, and they're gonna somehow win the Super Bowl. The AFC. It's just what's gonna happen.
The biggest mess of the entire season for every
team. Yeah, that team's gonna win. Whatever.
The AFC North of all teams lost or didn't win this week in just horrible fashion. So it's just that division literally did nothing this week, and the AFC West is just a blah. And the South is a disaster too. And the East is all bunched up now with the Patriots, rearing their ugly head back around and the
top
Bills.
Heavy.
Yeah, so it's just I don't even know what's going to happen. But let's talk about a game where neither team won nor lost, and we're always good for one tie a year. This was just an ugly 4-hour game in the Pittsburgh rain and cold and just messy. No Big Ben because he's a stand-up guy, right, Jesse? He reported he felt sick, so he got a COVID test. No, none of that. So he handed the reins over to Mason Rudolph, and then Jared Goff got the hell beat out of him, so he could barely throw the ball. And then you saw probably what was the ugliest field goal attempt ever in the NFL, which could have won it in overtime for the Lions, but it didn't even make it to the end zone. And ultimately a Freiermuth fumble resulted in a 16-16 tie between the Lions and Steelers. God, this was ugly.
I'll let Jesse take this.
Yeah, go ahead, Jesse.
Yeah, this was really bad.
The Steelers needed this, let's be honest.
I don't understand. I don't understand how Mason Rudolph is still young and people are still kind of oh, well, we got to see what we
He's been in the league for 4 years.
Exactly. But it feels like it's been 8 to me. It feels like he's just we've signed him so many times. I don't know why. He only likes to throw to James Washington, who's the 3rd best receiver because Juju's out. He refuses to throw to Deontay most of the time. Also, he sucks, and I hate him.
All right.
Hey, you could have Dwayne Haskins in the game, but apparently he was.
I don't know why Dwayne Haskins wasn't in the game.
I saw a tweet. I couldn't verify what the source was, but basically it was because he wasn't really trying in warmups, and he was on his phone during warmups pregame, so they just didn't want to go to him.
Washington legend.
Have fun with him.
Yeah, that's why you stuck with.
That's your starter next year.
The whole game. Oh,
God.
Lions on the other side. If we don't get a different quarterback, I'm defecting officially.
Hey, you can join your home.
Yeah, you can go to the Lions. State. God, this must have been such an uncomfortable game for you. This is probably the best outcome for you. Your new home didn't lose, but your longtime team didn't win either, Lions,
right? But I don't care about the Lions.
Not yet.
Justin, you have more stake in the Lions than I do.
I still can't get away from them because they didn't win.
They didn't win. They didn't win.
Yeah,
I picked them to win this week too.
Than I do.
Yeah, I know. Of course, most people pick the freaking Lions to win. They didn't win, but it didn't hurt them either, so it just didn't count. Great.
Hey, they can't lose every single game. So
you guys think they're gonna go 0-16-1?
They are.
I think they might beat I don't know. They have a Bears game in there. It's possible.
Yeah, but if Goff can't go and they got to go with David Blau and
isn't Chase Daniel back up?
Oh, I don't even know.
Daniel doesn't play.
Yeah, but
How's the
Vikings
backup?
Chargers, Minnesota beat the Chargers. They're falling off a little bit.
Look. Minnesota plays so many close games. They have to win some of them.
Eventually, yes.
Also, the Chargers
prime
are
time, too.
The Chargers are super overvalued because we all love Justin Herbert.
That
In
is
reality, you can run all over that defense. And while the secondary has playmakers, they also give up a ton of yards.
The line,
You
the line needs help.
move the ball on them. They need help all over that defense. Also, Kenneth Murray is a bona fide bust. I don't care if it's only been a year and a half. Move off of him. He has shown absolutely nothing.
Jesse's two favorite
Bust.
linebackers: Kenneth Murray, Patrick Queen. His two favorite.
Jesse loves calling the bust.
But at least Patrick Queen
generational talent.
has Patrick Queen has at least gotten somewhat better in some ways. Kenneth Murray was literally hurt, showed nothing, was taken out for the whole year, came back, looked terrible, got hurt, came back again, and looks worse.
Yeah.
It
So we
wasn't
gotta-
a primetime game.
We got a few more games
The
left,
Vikings
so let's
won.
just kind of push through these just because we got a few minutes left on the old Zoom call before, and I don't really want to start a new one. So,
All right, let's do it.
Eagles Broncos, good for Jalen Hurts. Had a really good game, and
Devontae's a dog.
yeah,
He's
he's living up
fantastic.
to the hype and probably the best Heisman winner in a while since Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson in the NFL. So that's good on them.
Justin thought there were no Heisman winners.
Yeah,
in
and then a
between
few
that.
popped in my head.
Good
Troy
Heisman
Baker
winners.
also won one. Didn't Joe Burrow win the Heisman? Yeah, there's been a lot of good.
Yeah.
Cam Newton.
Cam Newton.
No, but I'm just saying, it used to be like, oh, you win the Heisman, that doesn't necessarily transcend to the NFL. But boy, Broncos, yikes.
Broncos fell off
Yeah.
hard. That's a hard fall off, and they're just bad now.
Anything else? No? Moving along.
Fly, Eagles, fly.
So, in Russell Wilson's return to the Seahawks,
Ugh.
after
Came back too
we're
soon.
getting into the bad games. Yep, the madman rehabbed like a nut job to get back and try to
Came
miss as
back
little
too
time as
soon.
possible. They said 6 to 8 weeks. He came back in 4, and he goes out and lays a goose egg in Lambeau, losing to the Packers 17-0, which we were, getting hyped up. Oh, snow game, snow, and then the snow just stopped and it all went away. So, but he came back way early. The Seahawks looked bad, and Packers won.
This defense
Yeah.
for Seattle is they honestly think Russell Wilson will do it all. They think he's going to win you the game. For 5 years since the Legion of Boom has just erupted. Yeah, they just have gotten no defensive help. It's like, yeah, Jamal Adams, great. Finally got a pick. Nice.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all they have.
Whoa. Let's lay off the defense a little bit. The offense put up 0.
Listen, I get it.
But the defense gave up 17.
The defense could have shut them out, and it wouldn't have mattered.
We had a tie
They
then.
didn't do anything. Oh
Well,
yeah, I
second
love
time.
ties. But I mean, no, this offense, when Russell Wilson isn't doing absolutely everything, their offense is
And
absolutely
then you had DK
terrible.
trying to fight somebody and then go back in the game after getting
He's
ejected.
falling
Yeah.
off a bit.
Oh boy,
Yeah, Lockett's better.
what a mess of a game.
Yeah. Rodgers was lucky this is the game he came back to after COVID too.
After they
Otherwise-
put up a horrible game.
yeah,
Or-
it was bad, just a bad game. Let's
Oof.
move on.
Chiefs Raiders Sunday Night Football. Chiefs 41, Raiders 14. Talk about the Raiders falling apart.
I
And-
called that weeks ago. Raiders are gonna
Me
fall
as
off.
well.
Yeah, we both said it. Raiders were gonna fall off. It,
But the
it
Chiefs
was bound
are
to
on the
happen.
rise.
I don't even think the Chiefs are still there. I really don't. They're not the same team. They're not the same team.
Division
But-
leader.
They are.
Leader.
They are.
But they at
division
least
leader,
put
but the other-
themselves back
other
in the
teams-
playoff hunt. A lot of people had them missing playoffs,
Oh,
but
I never had that.
But
But
the window for the division definitely looks to be back in their favor, as the Broncos are a hot mess, Raiders are a hot mess, and the Chargers are slowly falling apart. So
if I see the Chiefs get really, really hot end of December into January, then I'll be like, okay, they're fine. But as of now, I'm still not buying into that.
I will never, I've never have before, but every year the Raiders start like 2-0 or 3-1. Everyone's like, this is the year. This is the year. And then they just shit the bed
Always,
every
always.
year.
always
Every
fall
time.
apart. Yep.
I want to know why is everybody not doing the fraud thing anymore? Because I was still all saying Mahomes was good while
Hey, man.
everybody was calling him a fraud. So
Because he
I want
was playing like a
everybody to-
fraud. He was. Now he's not. When he's not playing
Um,
like a fraud, then he's not. But if he
Fun
throws,
fact: this was Mahomes' second ever game with 400 yards, 5 touchdowns, and no interceptions. He now also holds the record for most games with that stat.
Oh, baby.
What, 2?
Yeah, 2. The only other person with like 1 is like Ben, I think. It's actually
Probably against the
Oh,
Colts.
hell yeah.
Stand
I
up
think it's
guy.
actually against the Colts.
Yeah, it's that game. I know exactly the game I'm
I
talking
think
about when
it's
Ben
that
could have
game.
broke the passing record and they just stopped.
They
But
stopped.
let's stop talking
Yeah.
about this game and finish things up. We got 2 more, and this game can be
Really?
summed up with a few words. Mike fucking White sucks as he went and looked
One
like a
hit
backup.
wonder.
Whoa.
I don't know about
Whoa.
sucks. One hit wonder.
Four
I'll
give him the
brutal
one hit
interceptions.
Let's
The Jets defense, though, continues to hemorrhage points as they've
Yeah,
just
look
given
at the
up
last 2 weeks now with the Colts and
4.
with the. Oh wow, yeah.
4,
Right.
yeah.
They've just
Let's be nice to Mike White. He was playing
let's
the
be
number
nice.
1 defense
Let's be
in
nice.
the NFL. That is the consistent number 1 defense in
Yeah.
the NFL this year. So let's be nice.
Let's be nice. Let's
brutal
be nice.
game though, and the Jets defense just looks helpless. Like the fact
Yeah,
that
the
Rob
Jets defense
Saleh,
continues
Stink.
to look worse.
the fact that Rob Saleh came in and to be a defensive-minded coach, and that's the worst part of the team, doesn't look good for Coach Saleh.
You see that Rex
Does
Ryan
not.
Rob Saleh beef going
Yeah,
on?
Said don't ever compare him to me.
One got to a Super Bowl though.
At least I have Flacco.
Yeah, Flacco actually played in this game, so that's cool.
That
But Zach-
5th rounder for him.
Oh God! And finally, the biggest massacre of the week: Cowboys 43 and the Arthur Smith Falcons 3. Jesse, what do you got to say for 3 points?
Dan Quinn schemed out of his mind
He's a beast.
To stop Matt Ryan.
Yeah.
to stop Matt Ryan.
Also, Micah Parsons Defensive Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
Also, the Cowboys
Probably.
stunk it up last year. Or not last year,
Last
last
week.
week. Sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they did.
Last
That
week
was a
they
nice-
stunk
nice
it up.
bounce
And
back
Trayvon
game
Diggs
for
got
them.
another pick, so that's keeps
No
on
yards to
counting.
give up, though.
Like
Whoa.
8
thingy.
isn't this the record 16? So he's halfway there.
DPOY.
Yeah, no. He'll give up 1,000 yards, but 10 interceptions. But yeah, bad game for the old Falcons and the Cowboys.
Another one for them.
Yeah, yikes.
Yeah, see, this is what I mean when I'm saying I'm not worried about like teams like the Ravens who like lost this week, because if they just do what the Cowboys did, like it's like, yeah, they just kind of fell asleep at the wheel. The Cowboys bounced back huge here, just kind of like we all expected.
Yep.
Yeah. So we're done. That's week 10 in the books.
We're
have
done.
Rams
We're done.
49ers on. 49ers are up 21-7 as we're talking about to start the third quarter. So, with picks, we all took the Rams. So point differential will not matter, but Jesse's pride will, because if the Rams somehow come back, he'll only get 0 points and not negative for the end of the week. So that could change, and I don't know what we're doing
That
for
could
podcasts
change.
the rest of the week. Maybe picks, maybe some wrestling. 'cause
We'll do some
Survivor
picks.
Series-
We'll do
We
some
gotta
Survivor
do
Series this week.
wrestling.
If another few major signings happen, MLB free agency probably.
Maybe, yeah. Eduardo Rios, the Tigers.
Those Correa, baby.
I don't know,
Detroit
man.
We got our
Yeah.
GM ski.
Ooh, so we'll do those when they come out and when we can get to
Ooh.
it.
Sign up
So
Bulls to a 10-year deal.
that's the podcast. Yep, we're done. Right, Clark? Cool. Outro? No? Yes? Maybe?
Nah.
Nah. All right.
Woo.